Hey, everybody. That is Gary Smith.
Hello, hello.
That is Kaz Kenny.
Kapow!
That's my button. You took my button away from me.
I know.
And I am Eddie Bramble. This is episode 63 of the Blackwater's Edge podcast. 63.
Man,
I
that's
tell you
old,
what,
man.
You know what it reminds me of? Remember the summer of '98, the home run chase, McGuire and Sosa?
Yes.
It's like every day you turn on TV. Oh, there's 62. There's 63. And it's the summer of '98 again.
Run them up.
That's it.
And then we had the year of Barry Bonds after that. Where
Nobody
he just
likes
stopped
him.
86. So, okay.
He had 73.
I thought it was 86.
No, 73.
No, you're right. No, you are right. 73 because
Oh, trust me. I promise you. I know.
because
I know
back
my
then,
baseball
listen,
facts.
no, this is true story. I had a short print numbered card of Bonds that was the number 73
Oh, that's cool.
of, I think it was 99 that were printed. And because it was literally 93, the 73 number because of the new record, that short printed card at 73 anywhere was worth double the value of the normal standard run. So that was pretty cool. So I did get a little bit extra money for a Barry Bonds card. I did do that.
Cool. Yeah, well, you know, all our podcasts are home runs anyway. So.
Oh, look at that. There's Gary right there. Hit it. Go ahead. Hit it.
I don't know what button it is. I'm gonna hit the wrong one. I've
We don't
got
have a button for that.
yeah, I've got a badumch button, but I don't know which one it is.
Just hit any of them. Who knows, man?
All right, Kaz, start us off with this week's
All right,
fishing
so
report.
it's been hot. Fishing's been tough in some places. You know, the fishing report today is brought to you by Angler Sports Center. So look, if you're up in the Annapolis area and you need bait, you need good tackle, you need a nice rod and reel, or you just need to make some nice new friends and you need some information, Angler Sports Center is going to be there to help you out. You know, Mike, all them guys up there, Lindsay, you know, they're all there to help you. And we can't say enough about them folks
They
up
do a
there,
great
can
job.
we? You know, I mean, we've supported one another here since day one, and we will continue to do that as much as we can. And we are just excited that they decided to headline sponsor our tournament trail.
For sure.
You know, so let's talk a little about the fishing report today. So, some hot spots, you know, and I'm not going to give the exact spots. Miles River, okay. You can find up the river some nice shallow areas with some pads, with some grass, with some structure. You'll find some snakeheads. I do know over there at the spillway on Y Lake that they are getting some snakeheads there too. A few crappie. Some guys said that they're using the live bluegill that they're catching in that spillway for bait, and that seems to be working really good for those fellows. Peach Blossom Creek, you know, there's been a good bite up in Peach Blossom Creek. You got to go look around. I'm not going to give the exact spot. You look over in the Chester River. The Chester River is really seeing a lot of snakeheads in that body of water. In some areas, really, really more than they were last year. I mean, like triple, quadruple the numbers. So, you know, that's definitely a good area to look at. You know, the Denton area, you know, you got the marinas up there, you got the yacht club, you got all that around there. I mean, them fish are hanging around places like that, you know, especially if they got babies or they got something like that. They're looking for out-of-the-way areas to hide, you know, to get away from everything. The Nanticoke, the Marsh Oak's been great. You know, the Marsh Oak's been really, really good for some of those folks over there, especially those guys going out at night. I know that Cornflower's been getting a few snakeheads over there, a couple blue cats still, but not very many. But they are definitely getting some snakeheads over there. In the Nanticoke, you know, in the deeper water, they're still finding some blue cats. You know, you want to look for water, you know, 15 feet plus if you want them big ones. You know, if you're going to try to find them bigger fish, they require a lot more oxygen than anything else. So they're seeking out that cooler water, especially this time of the year when we have this influx of heat like we're having, you know. That'll warm this water up really, really fast. To give you an idea how fast and this water warms and how hot it can get here, especially on the eastern shore, I mean, some of the ditches last week were over 100 degrees, you know, and that's simply from sucking up the sunlight. You know, you got that black mud, you got that black water, and I mean, brother, that is some hot, hot stuff. You know what I mean?
Get a little warm.
Well, I got to be honest with you. I've been keeping a bucket and bag of Epsom salts. Everywhere I go and they got a hot ditch, I just fill it up, put my feet in there while I'm sitting in my chair, let them soak in some Epsom salt. Man, I leave here feeling really, really, really good. What are you guys shaking your head for?
I don't think there's nothing Epsom salts can do to cure your feet for you. That's for sure.
So you just set the bucket on the gas pedal and drive.
That's right. That's right. Let the dogs in the back.
We don't need no stinking brakes.
We ain't got none anyway. What are you talking about? I've been downshifting to stop for weeks. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, man.
Anyway, so you know, the eastern area up there, I mean, the head of the Tread Avon, I mean, that's worth a look up there, you know, look around them places. I mean, look at the heads of all these places. You know, anywhere that you see, an area that's got snakeheads, it's real simple to really get away from where you think they may be predominantly at, simply using your Google Maps. You can get in your Google Maps, you can look at the tributaries around the area that you may be successful at, or you may be finding a number of fish, and you may find something that, you move away from for a minute or two, to a different area that's just the most money spot you ever found in your life. So I know some of you out there have experienced that. I've always said don't be afraid to go and try somewhere new. Don't be afraid to ask somebody, if they've heard of any in the area, because most people go, oh yeah, we've heard them here. So you can get them. The head of the Tread Avon, like I said, the head of the Wye River. The head up the Magathie, the head of the Severn. The Patuxent, Swan Harbor, up the bay, Bush River is just absolutely crawling with snakeheads, from what I understand. So is the Gunpowder. The back channel, I hear they're catching plenty of them right on the flats, on the back channel right there from Haverty Grace around the corner there. There's just so much. Northeast, we were at Northeast River last weekend with the Ike Foundation, and we had a couple posts this week of guys that caught them at the marina there this week, and they're just big. So it was good to kind of put that thing on the map, and a couple people are finding some up there. Also, that area is a real good place to put a kayak in. It was a real great venue this weekend, and it's really easy, accessible for everybody. And there's enough room there to fish that, I'm pretty sure you could find a spot. I think it would have to be pretty crazy for that place to get crowded out, but you never know. We see places get crowded out all the time. Other than that, some white perch still in the Susquehanna, flatheads, a few smallmouth. The bite at the dam seems to kind of slowed a little bit just because they've shut the shad lift down. The shad runs over, and those fish are now doing their first initial spawn. So we believe they've backed out. They're moving up the rivers, such as maybe Deer Creek, Octorara. Don't be afraid to look at all those bank spots over there that got calm water up against the bank, because you can find them downriver in lots of places. I got friends that are fishing the pools below the dam, when they can get out there and they can throw some poppers and things like that. And even in the pools that I used to catch smallmouth in, like the Graveyard and things like that, they're catching snakeheads there on top water, striper fishing. So, I know they're all throughout the river. They're probably, ganged up in some areas more than others. I'm just going to throw this out there. Go above Conowingo Dam and look around the coves, okay? I'm not going to mention specific coves. I'm just going to say you're going to be really surprised what you see at the crack of dawn basking with the carp in the sunlight in the morning, I talked to a friend of mine who, he does a little work up there, and he said that, above the dam, it's crazy. They're laying all against the walls there and things like that. So, I don't know. Who knows, man? Snakeheads everywhere,
Sounds like they're getting comfortable. They're basking.
Yeah, they are. And then, Otter Creek's been on fire. Gray's Run's been on fire. All these places have been on fire, Heat, if it's a hot day, of course, you don't want to be out there in the middle of the day chasing snakeheads, unless you got a falling tide or unless you got a food source or something like that, So you want to look now. We always said you don't got to go early. Now you want to start looking for them earlier opportunities. You're going to see those earlier opportunities in that window of, say, 6:30 to maybe 8:30. You might see a little longer than that if you got a good tide running. But then you're going to see them back again sometime after 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, when the sun's starting to set. It's not so bright on their eyes. They can see much easier without that bright light hitting them in the face. Just don't be afraid to look around. I've always said it. There's all kinds of stuff out here to catch. We've got speckled trout down here. Got my uncle down here right now. He's fishing. He's almost got a limit. I just talked to him. He's got them up to 23 inches. So we know there's still some trout around here, some perch still around here, a few bass being caught. Yeah, man, go fishing, right?
That's right.
All right. Did I get my 30-minute fishing report in?
You're just short. We're at 9 minutes, so you're a minute short.
You want to pull the cord and I'll go some more?
No, that's okay. We're fine. All right, so this week we got a very special guest, Kaz. Why don't you tell him who it's sponsored by himself?
So today's podcast is sponsored by CCA. And we got our good friend here, Mr. Dave Sikorski. And
not just CCA Maryland's Great Invasive Count.
CCA Maryland's Great Invasive Count. Yes, I've been plugging that all week for him, getting the word out for that. And, I first want to say this, the whole Mike Iaconelli thing kind of came together through Dave Sikorski.
Yep.
And it would be ridiculous for us not to say thank you to Dave directly for all the work that he did to get that in place and to help the Ike Foundation and to raise awareness and to provide some education for those kids this past weekend. So for those of you that don't know Dave has done a lot for the industry. Some people love him, some people hate him, you know what I mean? But I seem to have found a gray area that I'm comfortable with. So.
That's okay. Some people hate you too.
Oh, I know. A lot of people hate me. We know that, right? Good God, let me burn at the stake, right? So, but anyway, without any further ado, Dave, let me introduce you, Mr. Dave, and let's tell us about CCA. And let's talk about, first, right off the bat, this great invasive count that you guys are doing, the Great Chesapeake Invasive Count. Look, let's talk about that right now, Dave.
Well, hold on. I want to talk about this gray area.
Take what you can get and just ride with it, brother.
I get it, man. I'll roll with the best of them, but
Look,
the gray area counts. We're going to have to talk about that.
So the gray area just means that you're right here and you're inside of me. I have no either way. I don't have any hate for you. I've got lots of love for you. And when you mix the two together, you get this shade of gray. That's what I call it. So
He's just talking about my beard.
Dave,
that's all.
Dave, you want me to call and just cancel one of the reservations for Saturday night? Or just tell them we're gray on it right now. We're not sure.
well, I mean, here's the thing. I mean, I speak very highly about Dave to people when I talk to them, and some people that I talk to, you know, they just don't understand the work, I guess, and some of the things that CCA does. You know, I've tried to look at everything that CCA does as a whole, and I'm very impressed by what you guys do. So
for sure.
That is on the record from Kaz, and I love Dave as much as this red hat right here.
Well, thank you, Kaz. I'll tell you, at CCA,
Roy Boyd said, "I hate
there's
Kaz."
something we say quite frequently, and that's it's a famous quote, and it's, if you're getting flack, you're over the target. And
I like
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't upset people along the way.
I agree.
And I'm somebody that's just fortunate to be in a position to represent recreational anglers, and I'm only put here by the partnerships I can build, the members that can join our association to support us, and the people that can participate in events we put together. And you know, we're all one big community and one big family, and I've never sat at a Thanksgiving table once in my life where there wasn't some sort of conflict or fight or ill will or tough feelings. But that's part of this experience here. And when you have a public resource that is highly difficult to manage, and you've got different user groups trying to use it, you know, CCA, believe it or not, one of the things we ask ourselves in every issue and every position we take is what's best for the resource. And that's very hard to do. There's a bias in everything. There's a bias in everyone. So it's impossible to drive an outcome that people don't feel is one, you know, for one group or for one person, or, you know, somebody's going to benefit from it. Somebody's going to lose in their mind, whether you like it or not, with all these things. And that's the difficulty of a public resource. So I believe in over communicating, which everybody knows about me. I never shut up. And
That's why I like you so much.
Well, trying to build bridges too. I mean, we are truly in this together, and whether we like it or not, we're a community. And you know, you mentioned the Ike Foundation. I wouldn't be in a position to even have a relationship with them without the great leadership at Yamaha Outboards that has supported Ike for a long time, and supports CCA throughout the country, because they realize that we all are in it together, and there's folks that have to be on the front line of all sorts of different aspects of our community, doing hard work and dealing with the pushback. And, you know, I'm one of those people that in the conservation realm, I get engaged in policy and do a lot of stuff that's tough and stressful. And, you know, but it's great to have Yamaha be able to support groups like us to come together. And right there on the Ike Foundation website, it says it all. It's together, we can hook them early. And that's what we did last weekend up in Northeast, where,
sure.
you know, we got invited to show up and help. And, you know, gosh, we gave out hats to all the kids, thanks to Under Armour, you know, a big, great company here that is a global presence, you know, in the apparel industry, but right here in Baltimore, where I live, you know, they donated some hats that we could give to the kids. We did that, you know, previously in an event, you know, I know you guys have talked about down in Blackwater. So, you know, corporations are empowering people like us on the front lines to educate and work together. And, you know, shaping policy, fisheries policy, which is where CCA creates its most enemies, is not easy. But again, we're in it together, and we've got to make informed decisions. And we do that through communication and willingness to work together where we can, and try and let the facts kind of lead into the future. Because if we get our jobs right in the conservation world and the managing these resources and trying to pass on something better to the future, then these kids we're talking to about fish, we're trying to educate on how to engage in the fisheries, will have something that they're proud of, that they can take care of. Because we all do this because we love fishing so much, And if we're doing it right, it's because we love our neighbor too, and we're passing on something better to the next generation.
You know,
So,
I agree 100% with you. And here's the thing, you know, when you know, I get a lot of hate mail too, you know, and here's the thing, you know, people are entitled to feel how they feel
right.
about something, you know, and because your stance or my stance or somebody's stance isn't in agreement with somebody else, I just don't see where the fact of ribbing somebody, cutting them to pieces, you know, doing all that gets anywhere, you know. And I agree 100%, you know. I'm willing to take the heat to stand for what I believe in, you know. And I think that's the biggest thing that I see with CCA too. No matter what's in front of you, you're willing to take it on and you're willing to go at it head first. You know what I'm
I'll
saying?
tell you who else is willing to take it on. That girl who you helped fillet that fish.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, she had a great time.
That was pretty cool. You know what I mean? And that's the other thing. We get, like you just said, this is an opportunity for us to pass on the knowledge that we currently have to the youth, you know, and I'm with you 100%. That's the future of fishing. I'm not the future of fishing. I am the was of fishing. I hate to say it, you know, but
You're not just a was, you're a has-been.
but my point is
He ain't
this.
him in the gray area.
Yeah. He hit me in the gray area like a mug. That hurt, boy. Woo! No. I get it all the time. I love it. So that's what I'm saying. I take it and I love it, you know. But here's the thing, you know, this is the part that gets me, you know. When you've reached out and somebody's came to you and you've given them some help and you've pointed them in the right direction, and then a couple years later, here they are chewing you up on a thread because, you know, you want to harvest a fish. And I think one of the things that I kind of made clear in one of the posts yesterday that kind of went awry was that, you know, we all know, Dave, that no matter what we do, we're not getting rid of these snakeheads, period. I also know that no matter what we harvest, we're still not getting rid of these snakeheads. Look at Blackwater, you know? So there is really, in my eyes, no right or wrong, no matter how you feel, you know? So regardless of whether that's your choice or not your choice, the only opportunity that we have is to just continue to educate with the updated data and things that we continue to get. You know, I think the thing that I like the best about the CCA is I've watched you not back down from certain situations, you know, that no matter what people have said to you, you guys have gone forward and continued your battle. And I think that's one of the biggest things I want to say here, you know. These guys that have been in the works for 10 years or whatever you want to say with these snakeheads, you know, it's kind of been a battle for everybody. And we're seeing here, you know, where the battles have paid off, at least on our end, is what I'm seeing. You know, I'm seeing a great response to this invasive count thing that you got going after yesterday and putting the word out there. That's why I want to really talk in depth about that registration and iAngler and all that, so that they can really understand how to register their catch, their gut sampling, the length, all that stuff. I've had so many messages since yesterday when I went crazy with the post. So I told everybody, you know, we'll answer them all here on the podcast today, and we've got a little list of stuff. So, you know, some good questions to ask you and things like that. I think one of the biggest things, you know, this past weekend for us was the opportunity to meet all these people that we got to meet. Dave, let's talk a little bit about what we did up there for the Ike Foundation, you know, this past weekend to help them carry the message.
Yeah, so as I said, we're both supported by Yamaha. Thankfully, you know, that's how we were able to connect with that part of our community. You know, CCA largely does tidal water fishery stuff. Maryland's a unique place where bass live here in tidal waters, so it's kind of a cool overlap of the professional bass fishermen and the great organization that they have. They have an amazing team, and I mean, they're just watching everything they put together in that event was great. They had tons of great stuff for the kids. So, you know, of course, with COVID, we had to open up and they had to make their own choices about the event and scale it down a bit, but they worked with the local Parks and Rec and some Boys and Girls Clubs and got some kids to come out and experience fishing right there on the water. And what we wanted to do was promote the invasives count to anglers who are likely to encounter invasives and get an opportunity to win a prize, which is what the invasives count does. So, you know, while it was a bass pro-am as well as a kids fishing event, we were there to share. And, you know, in typical CCA fashion, what our members do is come together and bring what we have to the table to share with people. And we had Joe Love from DNR and Josh Newhart from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service.
We had the crew out there. We had everybody there for anybody who wanted to ask any questions last weekend for sure.
Yeah, and we had Dave McCullum come up, who's a tremendous angler.
And and not to interrupt you, but we're going to have Dave at our next fishing club meeting, and he's going to be our guest speaker on the 16th.
Yeah. Well, and, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better and more knowledgeable fisherman from the more, like, test the guy on ecology and biology and what the species are in the rivers and the streams. And you wouldn't believe his knowledge. And that's how you, like, people ask Dave all the time, well, how are you such a good angler? And, you know, how do you catch so many fish? Well, he understands it all the way down to the bugs and all the way down to the details. And he's done it so long. You know, that's why he's a great angler. And Dave's been catching a lot of snakeheads, of course. And he was a major participant in the count last year, submitting catch to help us understand what's being caught up in the upper bay. And, you know, I called Dave and said, hey, man, can I get some snakeheads fresh on ice, bring them over so we can show them to the kids? And sure enough, without fail, just like so many people in our community rise up to help out, Dave shows up, snakeheads cold on ice, ready to go, you know, freshly killed. And we were able to talk with kids about it. And when we got there, the Ike and Ellie team was like, oh my gosh, there's this one kid over here. He heard there might be a snakehead later, and he's so excited. He's trying to catch one. Like, this kid is full of energy, you know, and this is what it's all about. So, you know, we had that young lady come over at one point, you know, so we're set up in our tent. Folks are coming up and talking to us, and all the kids are getting the hats that Under Armour donated, and CCA helped put together. And this young lady comes over with her mother, and they said, you know, she's going to get a merit badge if she learns how to.
Well, hold on 1 minute. Let me just stop you right there. So I remember the little girl when she walked up, and she looked at us and she said, "Can you guys clean a fish?" And we said, "What do you want to clean a fish for?" And she said, "I want to be the first girl to get my merit badge in my troop for cleaning a fish." And me and you both looked at each other. And I said, "What do you think?" And you said, "Let's do it." I looked at Eddie, and I said, "Eddie, what do you think?" He said, "Let's do it." I said, "Gary," he said, "Let's do it." I said, "Let's go live." So we went live and put that little girl on there. Now, I got to be honest. I butchered that one side of the fish when I started
I was just
going.
about to say, she did a better job than you
She did. She actually did, but I use no excuses. I use an electric fillet knife all the time.
Oh, no,
I
that
don't
sounds
use
like
that,
an excuse to me.
But,
no, you know what? Hey, Cass, you know what you use is your mouth. You use the tool that you know best. And that is your mouth.
But you know what? Really, if you hadn't have said let's do it, I don't know what I'd have said. You know what I mean? And you just said let's go, and we rolled with it. And continue to tell what happened after that, Dave.
Yeah, well, I mean, so there is an awesome live video of what happened. You know, we had people surrounded, you know, all around the circle, and it was, to me, it was this moment where I went, you know what, this is awesome. The invasives count, which started as an idea that I wanted to do years ago, but we threw together during a pandemic, has turned into something where now people are gathering to learn from each other, and that's how our community learns best, from each other in person. You know, engaging with people on a personal level, not on social media, not on the web. I mean, we're breaking back out of our shells carefully.
Yep.
And so it was really an awesome moment for that reason alone, to stand back and go, wow. Then I looked around the circle, and you saw young and old and male and female, different backgrounds, all sorts of different people standing there, all learning about something that belongs to all of them, a natural resource.
And then somebody else walked up too. Mr. Ike walked up, and he walked up right next to me. And Kaz never even saw him. Kaz was doing his thing.
I never even knew he was there until Eddie was done. He was like, Mike was standing right next to you talking to me during the video. You can hear him in there talking about the Delaware
Probably
River.
a good thing he might have lost a hand.
right.
Yeah, Mike comes up and he sees me filming. He looks at me. He's like, "Man, this is awesome. This is great." And Kaz is going and doing his thing, and Kaz never even saw him the whole time.
You know what I wonder is we gave Mike the fillets to take home.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when he went home, his wife probably said, "Well, one of these fish must have been a lot bigger than the other one."
Man, you're talking about the one I filleted, right?
Yeah,
mine was bigger than the other
one. was
one.
a perch.
Oh! You mean mine was the shitty, crappy one?
Let's just say it wasn't a full fillet.
It was a little bit smaller.
Looked like a big one, only smaller.
Yeah, I didn't know. I wanted to apologize to the poor young lady who was trying to learn how to fillet a fish for her merit badge, because her teacher, you could tell her teacher was a catch and release guy for quite some time. Somebody else.
You guys are dirty dogs.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, but it was great. You're right, Eddie, and that was cool to have Mike Iaconelli, who's been all over TV, such a great leader and professional bass fisherman. You know, who has an awesome story. You know, to stand up and be just such a great ambassador of our sport in so many ways, and then next thing you know, another great ambassador of our sport, Mr. Kaz Canny, is standing there just, you know, on stage doing what you do, Kaz. And it was awesome, because we all have something to bring to this conversation. That's what fishing's all about, and we're all part of actually conservation as well. And most people don't realize that. Buying your fishing licenses supports the important science and work that our federal and state partners do in conservation. The management agencies, the tackle industry is paying an excise tax. Boating is paying an excise tax. Fuel is paying an excise tax, all to support these programs that we need. And granted, these programs aren't enough, and it's probably because other priorities take the money from our important programs. But here it is. We're already paying. Now we're showing up to pass it on with as best we can as individuals, and that's what fishing's all about. That's what the invasives count's all about. And so, really, the invasives count's all about collecting data as well, because these agencies don't have the capacity to do what they need to do. And we're collecting data on these invasive species so that down the road we might know something. We might be able to answer some of these questions that all of us have as anglers. And it doesn't matter what your opinion is. The science should be the fact-driven component of what's going on out there from a study. And not a single study ever tells every piece of the story we need to understand. It's just one step in a certain direction, and you can't assume the outcome. You can't, you just have to let the science kind of lead the way. Well, science is driven by data, and I'm not going to make any promises as to what answers or questions we're going to answer through the invasives count data. But I've been in fisheries long enough in paying attention and trying to shape policy and knowing that science should guide good policy. So should experience on the water. And there's in the recreational fishery, if we want good fisheries moving forward, if we want to have a fishery that is well managed for our needs, no matter what it is, we need good data, and we need to be a strong part of the collecting that data, owning it, and working with Maryland DNR or other management agencies to advance what's going on, because our environment's changing. These invasive species are going to have an impact on our native fish. We don't know how, we don't know when, but they are, and we just have to better understand it to mitigate it through our management actions. And so there's a we component to all this conversation today, and the invasives count's just a piece of that puzzle. So, we're incentivizing with small awards that are donated by partners, where people go in, they download the iAngler tournament app, and they log their catch of these fish, of invasive catfish and snakeheads. And it's a relatively intuitive app. I know some folks have had some trouble with signing up. One of the guys texted me the other night and said, "Hey man, I can't figure this thing out. What's going on?" We realized it was a glitch, and he ended up resetting the app and actually reinstalling it, and it worked just fine. So it was more of a software thing, not the app's fault. But he was a bit frustrated, so I said, "Hey man, you took the trouble. I'm going to send you a drink tumbler. Here you go." Prove to that guy that it's worth participating in this event, because we all know how important this data is going to become.
Exactly.
Here, let me also add how important this event is. This event is so important that we're going to give away a T-shirt right now from CCA and Dave Sikorski. So, Dave, look, brother.
Give us a phrase.
Yeah, give us something, man. What do you want him to say in there about this shirt right here? Property of Yamaha Rightwaters, established 2019.
There you go. Say Yamaha. Whoever the first one to comment Yamaha is gets that shirt.
Get your Yamaha ass in there.
Say, just leave it hanging there.
All right, Dave. So this iAngler program, last year we had how many participants in the program, did you say? I know you've said this before. I just want to ask again.
I want to say it was like 150 or so, 190, something like that.
Okay,
I'd have to look it up.
Now just
Q&A today. Jeez, Cass.
Now we have decided to go pretty much full force with this stuff, and we did a lot of sharing and advertising yesterday, trying to get people to sign up. How did that go? A lot of people come into play yesterday for you guys?
Yeah, here, and hold on a second. Here's a good example of why the actual facts and data, like science, is important, not your memory, because there were 92 participants last year, logged 198 fish. Right now, we have 219 participants that have logged 305 fish, 24 in the last 24 hours.
How about that, man?
And I want to say, Cass, thank you for a lot of your promotion and stuff, because I have to share. When I started designing the invasives count, I told everybody, it's a big tent. Everybody's welcome under. Use it, share it. We're all in this together.
Yes.
Whether you like it or not, I'm involved every day in keeping an eye on what's right for the resource and what's right for recreational anglers. So come on, jump on board, use it for your own. And you did that yesterday, and I think you got us like 70 registering or something like that in the last 24 hours.
Well, one thing that I like about the way it's set up, Dave, is the fact that you can give the information you want to give. You can just say the size of the fish, you can and the body of water. You can give specific. You can let it go right to your phone's GPS and give the exact location if you want, however you want to do it. It's all up to you. And more information you give, the more chances you get to win something.
Exactly, and location is required. A general location, like you said, body of water. And I recognize how important spots are to anglers. I get it, and I don't want to. My job is to be neutral to all of that. None of this, what we collect from a location standpoint, is being provided to the fishing community in any way whatsoever. It is strictly going to Maryland DNR and U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. And I respect that people want to protect their spots. I get it. So if you want to protect your spots, you're not participating to get prizes. It's that simple. Because there's no need to send misinformation. I want to shine a light right on it. Don't send misinformation. The world's got enough of that.
Now,
that hurts more than just telling the truth.
Yeah.
And you submit it. And like Gary said, every time you submit a fish with where you caught it, general water body or GPS, you get entered into the drawing. We do the drawing at the last day of each month. Unless we make a slight change, we'll announce it to everybody. That's another cool thing about the iAngler system. I can communicate with everybody directly through the system. It sends you a notification. I literally, just before we got on the podcast today, I've been working on some different email communication systems we're improving here at CCA, just to be able to engage with more folks. And, I love it. I mean, I was Facebook messaging with somebody at 9 o'clock last night, just talking about fishing because I love to fish. So I'm lucky to have my job.
Now, does Dave,
anyway,
does the Great Chesapeake Invasive Count, does that include bow fishing as well? Is that included in that?
Yeah, if you're legally harvesting, which, there's very little
that was
illegal
one of the
ways
questions I had too.
Yeah, if you're legally harvesting, if you are catch and releasing, you can provide all the same data, except for stomach contents. You can't do that if you're catch and releasing, unless you can see a sticking out of its
X-ray
mouth.
machine.
Yeah, and the cool part about the invasive count is you can do multiple catches all at once. There's a couple of folks that have figured that system out, and that's great. It's more streamlined for them. We're going to work on a spreadsheet upload system as well that's going to be separate from the app, because I want people. I was talking to somebody today that harvests a lot of fish. He was saying, look, I don't want to send each one through the app. Well, reach out to me. I'd rather have the data and get it to DNR in the right way than not. So we're making that connection. Let's work together. My contact information is everywhere. But really, what's easiest for the individual anglers is to use the app. And I did it myself. I mean, I went out bow fishing last week one night and took home some fish. I cleaned them the next morning, and I took pictures. What I did was I actually wrote down the length and then the weight. You would have seen my weight set up. It was my male scale with the giant stainless steel bowl on it with a big old slimy dragon laying in it. I'll send you.
It'll get postmarked.
Right? And the worst part was my one of the fish. Everybody knows how slimy they are. Well, my table, something happened with my little portable plastic table, and I had a cutting board on top of it, and one of those little push button things that you can extend the legs. Well, one of those was rusted, so my table wouldn't completely lock out. I'm I got fish sliding. I'm trying to get to work. It was a total mess. But my point of this whole little line of talking here is, I get that sometimes it's a pain to log in your catch through a digital platform with your smartphone when you're messing with cleaning your fish. So get a little notepad, weigh them, measure them, write it down. You get somebody to help you out. Cut the stomachs open if you're cleaning them. Look for what you can figure out is in there. From a stomach content perspective, take a picture, have somebody helping you. I know it's not easy, and that's why we want to award people for participating and give them some things. So, and we know that this system isn't perfect. So I want feedback. I want input. And going to our website, ccamd.org/count is the short link, the easiest way to get there. And hopefully everything is spelled out there, both how you participate through the iAngler app. My contact information is on the website, but also we're looking for promotional partners. Blackwater's Edge, Woolford Store, you guys have been promotional partners from the beginning. And, we're happy to be able to sponsor your tournament series as well.
And Dave, you don't have to be a CCA member to be part of the iAngler, correct?
That is correct. That is correct. And
I'd highly recommend they do, but
If you join CCA for $35 more, you get entered in for more prizes, and we're starting to ramp up the value of prizes. And last week we gave away a really nice Warthog knife sharpener to a guy.
Wow.
And he actually happened to win the raffle for the Kent Narrows tournament we had last weekend. He won a Traeger grill for turning in a single blue catfish.
That's a good weekend.
He's probably a life member now.
Now, was that the only invasive that was turned in up there on Kent Island?
So there were seven invasives. I think 2 snakeheads and a bunch of blue cats, 5 blue cats, and then there were a number of channel cats turned in as well, which weren't invasive. So
now let me ask you this: Where were the snakeheads caught? Do you know?
I probably do have the. I don't think they were caught in the Kent Island area, but I'm going to check.
Okay.
So that's a good question.
I was just curious if they caught it out in the bay or if they caught it out there in a boat or something like that. That's all.
Yeah, I think this person was actually targeting them, so he could have gone anywhere. They could have fished, according to the rules, anywhere in the tidal portion of the bay. So
gotcha. Now we've got our tournament coming up here.
That's right.
In about 2 weeks.
June 19th.
June 19th.
Less than
It's
2
coming
weeks.
in pretty quick. What are we doing? Anything fancy to help these people for the tournament to get them to sign up? Anything we're going to add to the program to help them at all? Anything you can think of?
that is right.
Hot dang! I'm psychic. Look at that.
Yeah, man.
Before I do that, though, Dave, let's go ahead and give away
One more of your shirts.
one more of these beautiful shirts right here. Property of Yamaha. Yamaha Outboards. Look, folks, when you need a good outboard, you need Yamaha. Ask for it by name. Yamaha. Woo, woo. What do you want me to say, Dave? What do you want me to say?
Angle coolers.
Ooh,
Angle coolers.
that's a nice little segue,
Angle
Dave.
coolers. That's kind of hard because I don't even know how to spell it. No, I'm just kidding. I probably don't.
Whoever gets it close.
Close enough.
And people don't know. Some people may not know. Angle is the first high-performance cooler. Before a lot of these other companies came along, they were out there doing their thing. They're a great company that supported CCA across the country and gives us great product that we can pass on to our participants. Last year, we had a number of backpack coolers for invasive count participants, and I might have something up my sleeve. We'll see. If people start spreading the word, maybe right now we have 200 and some participants. Well, I think maybe if we get over 300 mark relatively soon, we're just going to have to up the ante and give away some more Angle products. But this time, we're happy to give a high performance soft sided cooler. I think it's called the HD series 20 quart. I think it's actually a 22 quart. It's a dark gray and orange, kind of rubberized, really, really good. Perfect for folks that travel.
Right.
Like if you ever gone on a fishing trip somewhere and you want to pack a cooler and literally check it on a plane, it actually has a pressure valve in it, and you can check it in the plane with fresh fillets that you traveled with. You can take, I packed dead fish in it the other night, cleaned it out real easy, the one I have. And the way that you all you have to do is sign up for your next tournament, it's at the Snakehead Mayhem tournament, and also sign up for free for the invasives count. If you're registered for both at the captain's meeting at the Snakehead Mayhem tournament, June 19th at 5 a.m., there'll be a drawing at the Woolford store during the captain's meeting, and somebody's going away with this cooler.
And
there's a little something for people that sign up for CCA too, isn't it?
There is.
Refresh me on that.
Who won that at the first tournament?
So Lark Creel won the first tournament. And,
Not the tournament, the cooler.
The cooler, yeah. And I'll tell you what, he said it was absolutely amazing, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Well, who won the sunglasses?
The sunglasses.
I'm trying to remember.
Let's see, I can't remember the fellow's name.
Oh man, it was
I can't.
Yeah, I didn't personally know him.
I
but
can't remember. It's slipped my
I
mind.
told him he got a very nice pair of sunglasses.
It wasn't me, but I could use a nice pair.
I got a pair of Costas. They're awesome glasses.
So the Costa sunglasses. There's 3 pairs left, and at every single one of the tournaments, for the remaining 3, a single CCA member will be drawn out of a hat and go home with a pair of sunglasses.
And you can also join CCA while you are there at the tournament and have your name entered at that time also.
And the guy who won actually joined that day.
Yep, the guy who won, he just signed up that day with Toby. Was that his name, Toby?
Yeah, Toby's the one who drew the name out of the hat. Yep.
Yep. So, that's it. $35 for a CCA membership, and you're part of you become part of the nation's largest tidal water, coastal angler organization. We're not just about fishing. It's about coastal lifestyle, taking care of our resources that are near and dear to all of us that live on the coast. And CCA has been doing very hard work since 1977. Made plenty of enemies along the way, but again, if you're getting flack, you're over the target.
Yeah.
And
Probably made more
always been
good friends.
It's always been. If we're doing our job, we're frustrating people, and it is what it is. That's the way it is. We're going to pass on something better to the future, and you get a really good, a great magazine. Tide magazine has been award-winning. It typically would come 6 times a year. I think during this year, because of the pandemic, it's cut down to either 5 or 4. It's about to come out. A lot of times if folks sign up in between, I get an extra inventory of magazines. I can send them to you if for some reason you kind of miss the cycle or something happens. We have an extremely hardworking membership team down in Texas that, in fact, I was just talking with, and they just opened up a great contest. If folks are listening to this in South Carolina, Florida, Louisiana, or Texas, we have a really, really cool tournament in those 4 states called the Star Tournament. And it's all about catching, in Texas this year, tagged redfish that you remove the tag and release them. And people are winning truck, boat, trailers.
Oh, wow.
Kids are winning scholarships to college, like $30,000 scholarships. In those
they're doing
states,
a thing down there.
Yeah. And if you're a CCA member here, your membership counts down there. We're a national organization. Anything you do to support us here in Maryland stays in Maryland. So, we take care of our region, but our membership's national. And if you sign up for a Star Tournament, I think it's like $35 in every single one of those states. If you're traveling to fish down there between Memorial Day and Labor Day, any of those states, you better sign up for the Star Tournament, because if you follow any of our other state chapters or our national office on social media, you'll see that people are catching these tagged redfish and then they're not entered into the tournament. So they missed out on winning like a brand new boat motor trailer.
Wow.
Yeah. And I think South Carolina is a little bit different this year. I think they start July 1st. But that's a part of your CCA membership. And I'll be honest, we're working towards something like this in Maryland here in the Chesapeake region that invasives are going to be a part of, and a lot of other fish, because it's all about celebrating fishing. Our fishing tournaments don't have cash prizes. Too much can go wrong with that. And, I respect those that do it. But as a nonprofit, we're audited annually. Everything that happens at CCA from a fundraising perspective is looked at very closely. And there's just too much opportunity for shady things to happen when cash is involved.
Absolutely.
And we've got more important things to worry about than that. We want to be financially strong, yes, but we want to be structured properly so everybody knows that when they donate and support us, it's going where we say it is. And every single CCA employee across the country is very hardworking to make sure we're focused on our mission. We don't want to be messing with cash and all the complexity that can come with that, and the cheating and everything else. So anyway, we've got a great network of people around this country, not just in Maryland. Maryland's a very small piece of the puzzle, one that we're proud to be part of. And I encourage folks from all over the place to get involved with CCA and see how you can make a difference. And we've got a lot coming up in the region. I'm going to be down with you guys at the Snakehead Mayhem tournament, so I'll be there at the captain's meeting. I'll be hanging out with folks that weekend. Love to meet some folks in person.
Yes.
Well, that's 2 weekends in a row you're coming down.
I will make it a point to block out my schedule and make sure I can spend the time here with you to help you promote.
Run, Dave, run.
Bring me Red Bull. Bring me Red Bull, Dave.
Well, that's another thing you pointed out, Dave, is probably a lot of people don't know. CCA is coastal conservation, but there's not just one coast in the United States.
That's right.
You got the East Coast, West Coast, Southern Coast.
Well, Maryland's got
Southwest
more than a
Coast.
couple coasts, if you count the base coast.
Right. So, and CCA covers all of that.
That's right.
And the amazing thing is that CCA has tournaments, like you were saying, Dave, all up and down the East Coast. While we're talking about that, why don't we talk about upcoming tournaments that CCA has here in the state of Maryland still left coming this season? You want to touch on some of that, to promote some of that?
Absolutely, yeah. So in the beginning of the pandemic, like right before it started, I had an assistant director working full time with me, and then she left. The pandemic started, so things have been crazy. And throughout that entire time period, I've sat here and gone, okay, how can I make the work we're doing more efficient? And that way, I'm getting the mission-oriented stuff taken care of, less administrative work. Now, how can I provide something better to our customers and our members? And we just had our Kent Narrows Flying Light Tackle Tournament, the 18th annual, last weekend. And in prep for that, we built a brand new registration system. We use iAngler tournament for our fishing tournaments. So once you're signed up in that, you're ready to go. At least you're halfway there. If you join CCA, then your membership counts, for the next year. We require membership, in all of our fishing tournaments. And so I built a brand new website portal that's almost ready to come out. I've got to put together the details of the last remaining fishing tournaments we have. But it's brand new. You go to our website, you sign up, you can find out all the sponsorship information there. It's ccamd.org/tournaments is where everything's going to live here very soon. But what we've done the last couple of years is, switch to these iAngler-based tournaments where they're either required to be catch photo released because there's a conservation need, or just it's an easy way to manage people's catch and give them the option to catch and release a fish. And so with straight bass, rockfish in decline, we are 100% catch and release only this year. We do not have a summertime tournament for rockfish because summertime is not the time to be messing with them. If you're out there in the summer, catch them, keep them, move on to something else. Catching and releasing does not work in hot weather.
That's right.
Does not work with bait fishing, and there's nothing wrong with keeping fish. But when we have a tournament, we really pay attention to what our impact could be on the resource in a local area. We don't want a bunch of people out there just for prizes, catching and releasing fish that's going to kill the fish.
Right, just mangling the population.
That's irresponsible. Nobody should promote that. So that's why we had our catch and release tournament early in June. Good conditions still exist, but the hotter it gets and the more it rains, the worse conditions we're going to have in the bay for these fish. And I'll tell you, the rockfish are concentrated in the same places they have in the last couple of years, and that concerns me greatly, especially if more fresh water is coming through this watershed than did last year. I know the Eastern Shore was wet last year, but the Western Shore wasn't, nor was the Susquehanna River watershed. It's lining up to be a little more wet by what's going on outside my window. And it concerns me. So I'm sorry, I slipped back into conservation. I can't help myself.
It's okay.
That's all right. That's your job, man.
Well, look, while you're slipping back into conservation, let me talk about an amazing company out there, Bassrack Outdoors. For those of you that do not know Kevin Hogan, Bassrack Outdoors is an amazing company, small family-owned business, and you get lots of good stuff out there. You can get seasoning for anything that you want to cook, fish, snakeheads, beef, chicken. He's got a whole season line he's doing. The apparel that he has out there is amazing.
Shirts, hats, stickers.
Yeah, shirts, hats, stickers. We got some of his hats and stickers here at the Woolford store. If you think you're a crab picking champion, come on down here and get you a medal that says you're a crab picking champion. We got them here for you too.
Thought you were going to slip up then.
Almost.
Here it comes.
So tentatively, I have Kevin coming on the show next Tuesday with us here. We're going to be moving our podcast shows from Thursday to Tuesday.
Starting next week.
Touch on that right now. Starting next week, just because we're getting so busy here in the end of the week with stuff like that for the store, for preparation for the people that are coming, so we can accommodate them with what they need. So it'll just make life easier on everybody if we go to Tuesday. So that's what we're going to do from here on out.
And we'll make sure that we keep announcing that as we get closer to Tuesday, to make sure everybody knows.
Yes. And please
Tuesday.
share with your friends. Your friends that watch the podcast with you. If you guys have a podcast party every Friday like some of you do, we're gonna every Thursday we're gonna move to Tuesday now. So
if you can't make it on Tuesday, you still watch it on Thursday.
Yeah, you still watch it on Thursday, no problem. You watch
it just won't
Tuesday,
be live anymore.
You watch it Wednesday morning if you want.
That's
we don't care. But look,
or you can listen to it on Spotify
we're
or Apple
give away
Podcasts.
a his and hers koozie from here at the Woolford store.
That's right.
Look, make sure you tune in on Tuesday. I'm sure Kevin's going to bring some pretty cool stuff here. He might throw up here in the giveaways. We'll see what happens. So stay tuned.
So what do they got to say, Kaz, for the koozies?
Bassrack Outdoors, baby.
With the baby.
With the baby.
With the baby.
Bassrack Outdoors, baby.
With the baby.
Do I win something?
Not yet. You're live.
You didn't type it, Dave.
You have to type it in, Dave. Type it in. If you can hurry up, you can get it, bro.
Hey, Kevin, if you're out there, let's work together. Let's promote how we grill these bad boys up, the seasonings and everything else you do. I've seen your product. I love it.
See how that works, Kevin? I got your back too, baby, for life.
and that's
I love that guy.
Literally, yesterday I got a contact from a guy who's going to do a local kayak tournament on the Western Shore. Wanted to ask if we could work together and promote it, and I'm like, yeah, man, let's go.
Let's do it.
So nothing's exclusive here, folks. I mean, if I didn't say it yet, the prize sponsor for the month of June for the invasives count is All Tackle. So All Tackle in Annapolis and Ocean City and online.
No discuss.
10 $25 gift cards for All Tackle for the invasive count this month. So if you sign up right now, you automatically get entered. Every fish you catch for the rest of June, you're vying for stuff at All Tackle. And I've got a really great sponsor lined up for July. We're looking for the later months for those gift card sponsors, but we also are getting ready to start promoting the restaurant, the cooking, the home chef, the recipes, Chef Chad Wells, a lot of other great folks. So just hang tight because it's time to put these fish on our plates where they belong and, feed our families, especially with rockfish not in the right, position right now. Let's turn our attention real quick.
I agree 100% with you, 100%. While we're talking, we got a couple giveaways we got to squeeze in here in the next 10 minutes. Dave, I hate to cut you short, but let's get a couple of these in here. So, look, let's talk about Horseman Enterprises here in Dorchester County. If you're looking to have custom work done on your boat, if you have any motor issues, diesel preferably, anything like that, if you're looking to have a custom boat built for you, Benny's got some great molds over there, some custom designs, and if you haven't seen his vessel, you ain't seen nothing yet. That thing is an absolute beast. Have you seen it, Eddie?
I've seen it.
That thing is massive. So on behalf of Horseman Enterprises, I'm gonna give away a pack of these horny toads. Everybody likes a horny toad. Lots of horny toads around right now. See them in all the puddles chirping away, man. I don't know if they're good bait, but they sure are horny. Anyway, if you want to win these horny toads, don't say I am horny.
No, you gotta say Horseman Seafood.
Say Horseman Seafood. You get that. You get that pack of horny toads right there. So that's from Benny. Why don't we do one more real quick while we're sitting right here? Who's my next one here, Gary? Who I got
What you got in your hand?
I got my good friend Rob Fryer. Look, let's talk a little bit about the land group, folks. Look, if you are in the market for some amazing hunting property, some amazing fishing property, agricultural property, waterfront property, I don't care what you want. This dude sells any kind of dirt you want. Sand, topsoil. He's got dirt under everything. So look, reach out to the land group. Reach out to my good friend Rob Fryer. And if you didn't get a chance to see his chigger bites, you might want to go over to his personal page and check out. I thought I had chigger problems here on the Eastern Shore. I ain't got no problems like he had. He went out west somewhere doing some hunting, and man, if they didn't get bombarded. I mean, his arms are so welted, it's not funny. So, look, on behalf of the land group's going to give somebody today a pack of these right here, 3.5-inch slim snakehead destroyers by Old Skool Tackle Company. Look, folks, if you want them, these things are just beautiful.
What do you have to say, Kaz?
You have to say,
How about the land group?
The land group, yeah, man. The land group.
Yep, the land group.
How many more we got to get?
One more.
One more. You want to do it now and just get it over with?
We can do it more right now and get it over with. Yeah, for sure.
Let's do it right now and get it over with. What's my last one here?
So you let me talk again. I won't shut up.
No. I got you after this. The floor is yours for another 2.5 minutes or 2 minutes and 32 seconds, brother. I'll even extend you a couple extra seconds for an additional pay period.
No, it's 27 seconds.
All right, so who's our next one here again? Let me see. I got the Bait Boyz, Damian Tall, our good friend Damian Tall. Look, folks, if you're looking for bait, you need peelers, you need flats of LY, you need snakehead destroyer minnows, you need any kind of bait shrimp, bloodworms, grass shrimp, whatever you want, he'll find it for you. White leggers, green crabs, we'll find you whatever you want. So look, I love the Bait Boyz, and you get this, the hottest bait we've had here in Dorchester County going for the last 2 weeks, the Hyperlastics. We saw Amy Hassel, she posted up, she caught hers on Hyperlastics. Had another guy send me a picture of a 13-pounder, got over 335 on a Hyperlastics.
Eddie got his personal best on.
That's right.
Eddie got his biggest snakehead ever on that.
So I love the Bait Boyz.
I love the Bait Boyz. Let's say it.
I love the Bait Boyz.
Dave, you gotta type it in, man. I'll give you a pack. Just don't tell Eddie or Gary.
I don't know what I'm going to use. I give away everything.
Well, no, you're going to have to use these. When you see how pretty these are, this is one thing you will not give away ever in your life is a pack of Snakehead Destroyer swim baits. I promise you.
Well, they only come 2 in a pack. They last all summer.
We're getting ready to release the gold edition, and it'll be a limited production of solid gold Snakehead Destroyer swim baits that you can buy from the Eastern Jewelry Company.
Solid gold.
Yep, and you're looking at probably, what do they say, they're going to weigh about 4 ounces each at $1,200 an ounce. So it's $4,800 for the swim bait, but when you pay cash, you get a discount of $200. It'll be $4,600. How many you want?
I need a calculator. That was fast.
Yeah. I don't think that's a good deal, Dave. You're
I
better
know a
off
lot of
just
people
walking
walk
from
away
that
from me.
About your conversion
For some
rate.
reason, a lot of people, when I sell them stuff, walk away scratching their head and they look back 2 or 3 times like, and I know what they're thinking.
Start fishing with a metal detector.
Was that right? Yes.
I still want to know what Mike Iaconelli was thinking when he finally got away from you.
Oh my God.
Oh, did you hear me sing him the Krabby Jingle? He loved it, man.
I did not
Look,
believe.
The guy was walking backwards trying to get away from him.
Yeah, tell him.
Mike was walking away, and then Kaz was like, "Wait, do you want to hear the Krabby Jingle real quick?" Mike's like, "Sure." And me and Gary look back, just run, Ike, run, just get away as fast as you can.
He loved it, man. I told him, I said, when we do the podcast, you're going to have to sing that, so you better start practicing.
I just wanted to holler to him. My dad told me one time I come in with a girlfriend, and I said, "What do you think, Dad?" He said, "Run like hell, boy."
I don't think my dad ever told me that.
Oh, maybe he should have.
So next Wednesday, me and Gary, I just want to share this with everybody. We'll be heading up to North Bay, up the bay. We're going to do some a program up there with Dan and them guys, and we're going to do a little education for the kids there that are visiting for the week up there at North Bay. And then we'll be back the following week again to do another little shindig with the kids up there. So if anybody has anything they want to pass on up there, anything like that, let me know, and we'll see what we can do to help you get involved with some of that. This is all free work, nonprofit work. Everybody thinks that I'm paid. They said it the other day. You must be rich, this rich. You must not know me because we don't get paid for Gary, how rich are we? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
we got paid, what, $20 million for the Mike Iaconelli thing, right? No,
Yeah,
just
that'd be
kidding.
nice.
Look, folks, we do all this to help others. We do all this because we want to give back. We do all this because we enjoy doing this and helping you. So for those of you that are grateful and have thanked us, we appreciate the feedback, and that means the world to us. Eddie, I don't know what else we need to talk about this week. I know we got the tournament coming up. We got the fishing club coming up. Dave, is there anything else that you want to touch on that's going on? Any reef ball update? Any camera update at Chop Tank? Anything like that?
Well, yeah. So we've got a bunch of dates put together for this summer, and you're going to see very soon one of our partners in our really cool reef ball project, Shore Rivers, the Chop Tank River Keeper. We're going to be promoting 4 different reef ball builds, where we're working with Spanish-speaking community groups and the general public. Anybody wants to come out, I know you guys are going to be involved in some in Cambridge. We're building reef balls to place under the Bill Burton Fishing Pier. We're also received funding to put a 24/7 web camera that's going to live stream to YouTube.
That is
We'll
so
install
cool.
that.
That is so cool.
The web camera's going to be underwater, face the reef ball. There's a lot of different technical challenges we've got to overcome, but we're going to put that together and one day hit the play button, and everybody's going to be able to see it. We're also installing 6 different signs that are both English and Spanish that provide information about habitat, recreational fishing, responsible use of our waterways, traditional use, seafood consumption, a lot of everything you can imagine that somebody standing on the Bill Burton Pier in Cambridge, Maryland would want to understand. And we're also going to mount fish cleaning stations like bait cutting tables on the front of them, because if you put a flat surface on a fishing pier, what happens? They cut bait on it, right? Everybody does. Well, we're going to have fish cleaning, these little stations, 6 places on that pier on the Dorchester County side, as well as the reef balls we build are going to go in the water. So stand by for looking out for more information on that. And I've got one other exciting thing that relates right back to the Snakehead Mayhem tournament, and that is our Snakehead Angler of the Year trophy. It has been ordered. It is ready. It might be Haynes Hoffman from Blue Water Copper Works might be working on it right now, but it's a 24-inch copper snakehead on a beautiful, oiled riverwood backup or backing. And that's going to the Snakehead Angler of the Year for the tournament series. So, things are moving in the right direction. And folks just have to get involved. Sign up right now. Have some fun.
That's just absolutely fantastic. I'm really looking forward to the camera thing. I think that's going to be real neat if we can get that thing dialed in, and you can really see what's going on. how cool would that to see the black drum feeding off the beds? How often would it be to see some speckled trout laying there on a rock, or we certainly ain't gonna see any bluefish because they can't stay still, but maybe we will be able to watch them zoom by anyway.
Well, and hey, Kaz, when you have videos and stuff, it makes guys like us have to talk less. We talk so much to describe all these great things that we care about, right?
Oh, then maybe you shouldn't put the camera up. What would I do with myself if I can't talk?
No, you still get to talk. You just get to talk about the next great thing.
Oh, okay.
Bottom line is so much. so much in this fishing stuff is out of sight and out of mind. It's hard for people to understand. There's so much that can be presented in video and in pictures and information about what's going on out there. And that's what this project's all about. It's about connecting with a community that might not understand, the English language in a really strong way to truly understand what's going on, but might be out there fishing for dinner. And so, we're all in this together, again, regardless of what language we speak and where we're from and whatnot. And, we want to take care of each other as a community. So that's what this project's all about, the reef ball one. So, it's going to be exciting. And from what I'm talking with the Cambridge Waterfront Development Initiative, and I think we're going to have some great parties planned for these events.
I see a lot of talk going on about revitalization, and I'm glad to see that you're involved with some of that for sure.
They got a lot of work going on there.
Yeah, and they need a guy like you there with some suggestions, because there's the whole conservation thing. You know what I mean?
Before I forget, real quick, we've got one more Angler Spotlight of the Week. It's sponsored by Roy Bradshaw's Body Shop.
Oh, Roy Bradshaw's Body Shop.
That's Angler Spotlight of the Week. It's on the screen, Angler Spotlight of the Week. So it's by Roy.
So that's sponsored by Roy Bradshaw. Well, who was it again?
That was John Sturgill.
Yeah, I mean, that fish was massive. A lot of folks there were asking people about the color. I think there was 4 or 5 different comments about how dark this fish was. And maybe it's a bowfin, this and that.
Right.
But people don't realize here especially, you have to think again back to the pine tar that stains the water. Okay, now when these fish get big, they automatically turn darker.
I was about to say
they get a much blacker body here from what I've seen in other areas. And I've asked some of the people, would the decaying pine tars be no different than dyeing your skin?
Right.
So I think that adds to the fact that they're not only dark, but then once you throw that whole factor in there of the pine tar, and it's like tea, it's like if I set my body in tea, I'm gonna look nice and tan when I come out, you know what I'm saying?
So there's no longer popcorn and Twizzlers at the movies. They're taking tea to the movies with them.
Filling the bathtub with tea now. Where are we going with this thing?
I don't know. I'm back to eating Smarties, man. Screw all y'all.
It's like deer. This is just a darker face.
But no, but that was
an amazing fish. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I know where that spot is.
So John, stop in here at the Woolford store, pick up your Mepps, your Mepps bait, and that's sponsored by Roy Bradshaw's Body Shop.
All right, and then we got our tournaments coming up.
That's it. So
we got our Snakehead Club. You can. Oh, hold on. Before we go any further, let me make a major announcement. Okay, a lot of folks are calling me. This is pretty major because it's probably why we're not getting as many kids. So, if you sign up for our tournament through Fishing Chaos,
yes, there's a glitch on it right now. For some reason, I'm trying to figure this out right now. When as everybody knows, the kids division is free for the Snakehead Championship Series, but right now there's a glitch for some reason. It's trying to make you buy a ticket for the rest of the tournament as well before you sign up a kid. I'm trying to work that out right now. If we don't get that fixed before the tournament, just take your kid fishing and just bring your kid's fish to the store, and we'll still weigh it, and we'll handle that manually outside of the.
They don't have to be here for the captains.
No.
If you've got kids and you're going fishing, take them out there, let them catch their fish. Just bring them into the weigh-in. No need to register.
Right.
Or maybe we could do here too, Eddie, is put a sheet down there. That way local people can at least sign up so we know what we may have for kids, maybe something like that. Or if people that are visiting from out of town on the weekends can maybe drop their name on there while they're here at the store picking up their cheesesteak sub or some fish and lures.
I'll look into it and see, because the only concern I have with that is for people who aren't local. So and they still want their kids to fish. So
maybe we could
just have them send you an email.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, they could send us an email, or they could leave a comment on.
Yeah, just send an email. Just send an email to Eddie@blackwatersedge.com, and I'll take care of the registration manually. Okay. So just send it to Eddie @blackwatersedge.com, and give me your kid's name, and I'll take care of the registration manually on my end. Because if we don't get the glitch,
we want the kids here.
Absolutely.
I mean, we got people that donated lots of prizes for the kids that we're not giving away. So this next tournament is going to be a double up of prizes.
Right.
So we're going to give away what we had for the first tournament that we didn't.
We had kids register for the first tournament, and then the weather just got so bad the kids ended up not fishing.
And this year, Kaz is too old to qualify.
What do you mean? Whoa! I thought we were on episode 63.
Yeah.
I thought you said I qualified to episode 65.
No, it was 61.
62.
You guys are always changing stuff on me, man.
Not toys for you.
That's all right. I got Smarties, pretzels, and the fountain drink. I'm good to go. So what else?
Dave, got any one mores?
And you let me one more. We'll be here all night.
That's all right. I'm ready, bro. It's 1:04. I'll give you 2 seconds. Go.
All right.
All right,
we're
that's it.
deploying-
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Straight Edge Construction and Acme Ceramic Tile, Brian Sheets and Danny Wynn in Salisbury. We talked about these guys before. They spearheaded building reef falls in the lower eastern shore all winter long, and we're getting ready. Bramble Construction's been letting us store some material at one of their yards. We're getting ready to load all this material and reef falls onto a barge the week of June 20th. Build a brand new reef at Janes Island Reef Site, which is just south of Janes Island State Park, southeast of or southwest of Crisfield. So it's a little bit closer to town than the Curtis Johns Reef, which is a big triangle-shaped one. We're going to enhance this little shallower water with a bunch of reef falls built by local volunteers, and stand by for some more stuff happening in Mid-Bay. We're trying to line up some stuff Upper Bay as well. We're about to really get at it, building some reef falls this fall. So just keep an eye out, folks. And the Maryland Artificial Reef Initiative is something that CCA is directly connected to. We manage the money in it without taking a dime off the top at all. All we do is manage the money for the state. And I want to work with any fishing groups, fishing clubs. If they have questions about habitat, give me a call, because we're doing it. And we want people involved to help us out as well. We want to fulfill your vision in your local waters. So let's work together.
And if anybody would be thinking about putting any kind of tournaments elsewhere, you can always reach out to Dave too, and I'm sure that he can help you with some kind of support over there on the west side for anything that you may need. I know that you've talked to Roy Boyd. I know you've talked to Leroy. I know we're talking to some folks over there, and we're getting some things in place. So that's really, really good.
I'm here to help, and I'm only one man, but just keep pushing, people. I'll get right back to you as soon as I can, and we'll get as much done as possible together.
And like we've told you, if there's anything we can do on our side for support, you know that we're here and we're just a call away. Just let us know what we can do.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow night, or no, Saturday.
Saturday, yep.
Yep, Saturday. So Saturday we have the mentor.
First cast.
Yep, first cast program that we're beginning with Blackwater National Wildlife Refuge, and this should be a lot of fun.
A lot of fun, for sure.
If you didn't get a chance to register your kid for the...
It's not a kid thing.
I'm sorry, if you didn't get
How many times do we have to smack you upside the head on this one?
Because I just keep thinking mentor-mentee kids, that's all. So, if you didn't get a chance to register for this one, pay attention for the next one.
Well,
and
it's made for people who
have never
been fishing before and always wanted to learn, never had the opportunity to go fishing. Right. And so we've gathered a group of mentors, which Dave is actually one of the mentors at the First Cast program. And they're going to be helping people who have never been fishing before to learn how to fish. And not just for snakeheads, just fishing in general.
I think it's a few people that have limited fishing experience.
Yeah, limited to none. Yep, absolutely. Oh. So, that's going to be a great event. It's Saturday and Sunday.
Is the time cut off for applying?
Yes, so the application's already been sorted. I was just talking to Marsha about it the other day. They've got all the applications they want. We have... I think we have 10 mentors.
10 today, she said.
So we've got 10 mentors altogether. I can't remember how many mentees it is. Oh, it's 10 mentees, 10. So it's one. Okay, one per mentor. Yeah. Perfect. But that'll be this weekend, and that's gonna be fantastic. I think it's gonna be. I think a lot more parks and refuges across the entire country can implement programs like that.
I see that coming. I believe this is a spearhead for a nationwide movement.
I think
and that's awesome.
Movement. So. But we've got that this weekend, and like Kaz said earlier, we're moving our podcast to Tuesdays from here on out. And then Wednesday, you guys are going to North Bay.
Yep.
Wednesday night is the fishing club meeting.
Yep.
I've got to check with Jason about the hats and stickers for the club meeting.
Okay.
So I just remembered about that. I never reached out to him. I'll do that this week to make sure they're ready. And then so that's Wednesday, and then Saturday is our tournament. So it's a busy week and a half for us.
It's like I'll be cutting grass Thursday and Friday.
God, man, it's been busy for 2 weeks. I can tell you that.
We got a lot coming up here in the next week and a half. So but remember, guys, you got what is it? Just over a week now. It's a week tomorrow left to sign up for the tournament. It's $50 to enter it, and each Calcutta is $10 each. Sign up on the links in the description of the video below. So get on it, guys, if you want to fish in the tournament next weekend. What you got, Kaz?
Well, I think it's time to say adieu to everybody.
I got to announce the winners of the giveaways real quick.
Go ahead.
The shirts, Justin Sellers, Michael Dunlap.
Kapow!
You guys are the winners of the shirts. The koozies, Justin Airing.
Kapow!
Zoom Horny Toads, TJ Henson.
Kapow!
Snakehead Destroyer Swim Baits, Paul Barringer.
Kapow!
And the Hyperelastics go to Cameron Caldwell.
Kapow!
And they will be available at the register here at the Woolford store for you guys to pick up.
This was a very good show.
It always is.
Before I go, I'm gonna drop a little teaser here. Not sure if anybody knows, but we have another Snakehead Symposium on the horizons.
I don't know if it's from what my understanding, the way I got it, it was not going to be quite the same as the last one. So,
from what I understand, everybody's going to get together. We're going to talk about what we're seeing and where everybody stands. So, as we get more info on this, we will certainly allow that, because I know a lot of people want to know where all these biologists stand from around the world, up and down the East Coast. The other thing that I want to talk about is we will be doing some studying up the Upper Bay with Josh, U.S. Fish and Wildlife. We talked to him a little about that, Gary. So we're going to be surveying the flats. We're going to be surveying the Bush River. We're going to be surveying a bunch of grassy areas. And we're going to be looking at year young bass. We're going to be looking at year young rockfish. We're going to look at year young perch. We're going to see what's really going on in these grass beds and how rooted in these grass beds these snakeheads are. And that's something we've been asking ourselves for a pretty good bit here for a year and a half.
Almost 2 years now.
You know, these grass beds that run along both shorelines on each side, we're going to get in there and we're going to get dirty. I can tell you that. So stay tuned for that. We'll keep you posted on what we got going on with that. We got a lot of stuff that's getting ready to be released here real soon. So we're anxious to get some of that out to you here in the public. And, we're grateful for everybody that supports us. And with that being said, this weekend it's looking like the weather's going to be a little nicer, not quite as humid, and it'll probably be a good weekend to eat some crabs.
Before you get your crabs, I just want to say one thing. Dave, thank you for coming on, man.
Yes, sir.
Always great having you on.
Well, I was going to have him sing with me, that's all.
No, nobody wants to sing with you.
Dude, everybody, Mike Iaconelli wants to sing with me, I'm telling you.
Well, he'll be the first one.
What do you think, Dave? Give us your one more, Dave. What do you think? You think Mike wants to sing with Cass?
I'm speechless.
Anyway, look, folks, if you need crabs this weekend, come on out to the crab stand. We got a location in Abington, Maryland. We got a location up at the Maryland line off of 83. Look, the crabs are looking great. They're big, they're heavy, they're full. You will not find me mixing 4-day-old crabs with from other countries to make the cut here in Maryland. When I say we're selling Maryland crabs, that's all we're selling is Maryland crabs. If we can't get Maryland crabs, then I just won't open the door. It's that simple. So, we're going to give away some crabs here. So, here we go. Lori Snyder Jennings, I'm going to give you 2 dozen mixed Maryland crabs. Kapow! Barbie Paris, I'm going to give you 2 dozen mixed Maryland crabs. And Renee Miller, I'm going to give you 2 dozen mixed Maryland crabs. You can pick them up this weekend at either location. Just let us know when you're on the way so we can have them ready for you. With that, here's the rundown on the menu this weekend. Crab meat, soft crabs, hard crabs, scallops, probably maybe some shrimp. Probably going to have some fish in the menu, but you're definitely going to have this, a little crabby jingle. So, my crabs, they have 3 first names. Look at Gary over there smiling. They're heavy, full, and fat. My crabs, they have a 4th name. Come on, Gary. What are they?
Absolutely mustard pack.
Oh, my God. I think I'm going to pee my pants. If you ask me where they're from, they're 100% guaranteed Maryland #1s. At the crab stand, here's a fact I know for sure you're coming back. Say it, Eddie. Say it, Eddie. Say it, Eddie. Kapow! 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 That didn't sound like Eddie, but I'll take it. Y'all have a great day. Kapow! Kapow! Kapow!